diabetes, and she's off to the races. So though technically she is an obesity doctor, it seemed like her heart was always about insulin resistance and diabetes and how to beat it. So, of course, that is what attracted me to her talk. And let's just share some of the things she talks about, and then we'll get into why that hit the internet so powerfully when it did. And it was probably close to 10 years now that that video was first put up on YouTube. She mentions insulin. She's going to talk a lot about insulin. She says it's the main hormone involved in obesity. Most obese individuals are resistant to insulin. So that's why you can't hardly talk about obesity without talking about type 2 diabetes and the other way around. You talk about diabetes and type 2 diabetes anyway, and you're normally going to be looking at a lot of obese people. And yes, I know some thin people are type 2 diabetics, but most of them are not. And there's so much of a tight correspondence between obesity and diabetes that when you look at a middle-aged person who is significantly overweight, let's say a man who's 5 foot 10 inches tall and he's probably in his upper 200 pounds or 300 pounds or 400 pounds, you look at such a person, you think he's probably got diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and he probably does. She mentions that when you are insulin resistant, the body's response is to make more insulin. Why is that important? Because the more insulin that is being produced, the more resistant you become. The more resistant you become, the more insulin your pancreas, your poor, worn out, tired pancreas has to try to make to keep up with this process, and it doesn't lead to good results. But she says something interesting, something we all pretty much know these days, and that is that insulin levels will rise and rise for years